Alright, as I said before, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East. The big. That's a great team right there. That's championship caliber. They had some rough starts in the season at the beginning. Faced the Boston Celtics, really on their big three, and they lost. And what do sportscasters do? What they always do. Is this team in for defeat? Are they going to win their championship? Are they a bust? Was it a mistake given Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, all that money? That's the problem you have when you bring a lot of great names together like that. Basketball is all about chemistry, or any sport's about chemistry, really. It's all about how you can function as a team. If one player is not going to get it done, this isn't golf, this is basketball. So, they had trouble learning their roles. Dwayne Wade was the star of the Heat for years after Shaq left. LeBron James was the star of Cleveland for 7 years. And Chris Bosh, of course, the star of the Toronto Raptors for many years. But they just weren't given the tools they needed to win. LeBron James wasn't given the tools he needed to win in Cleveland. When they made it to the finals, well, LeBron can't put them over the finals by himself. That is something team effort has to do. So they wanted to get together. The way LeBron James did it, though, was very controversial. Waited a whole week, got the press all together, made a big thing out of it, and said, "I'm taking my talents to Miami." I can understand that making a lot of people mad. And why can't you just come out and say it right then and there? And then it shows pictures of Cleveland fans crying and burning his jersey. It's like Sports Nation. Sports Nation named him, or Colin tried to name him, I think it was Colin. They tried to name him the Akron Hammer, I believe, if I remember correctly. I think Akron is trying to hammer him now instead of the other way around. So he's not too popular. He got booed when he went back to Cleveland the game this year. When Miami Heat were playing them. But it's just the way sports works. You know, LeBron took less money to go to Miami than he would have had in Cleveland. So you really can't just down the guy. I mean, he gave you 7 years. You didn't give him what he needed to win. So he wanted to go somewhere else. He wanted to be the stars. He wanted to win. He wants a championship. He's been preaching that directly or indirectly his whole career. So him, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade decided they'd get together and win a championship. I'm sure Amari Stoudemire was pretty mad when he went to the Knicks, expecting one of those guys to come over there. So they can win a championship in New York, so New York can get back to greatness. New York seems to be doing pretty well on their own. Raymond Felton and Amari Stoudemire are lighting it up. Great record, best record the Knicks have had in a long time. Probably since the days of Sprewell and Ewing. So they're doing fine. They might get Melo. Let's talk about Melo. If Melo goes to the Knicks, that is a championship team. That is a championship caliber team. More so than Miami. I'm saying it right now. If New York gets Melo, they will win a championship before Miami does. Amari is one of the best, if not the best big man in the NBA. Raymond Felton has proved that he is a great shooter from the three. I wish I had looked at his percentage for three-point shooting before the show, but it's incredible. And if you bring Melo in, Carmelo Anthony is more of a fundamental player than LeBron James. Plenty of y'all may disagree with that statement, but I don't really care because this is my show. So, Carmelo Anthony is a better fundamental player. LeBron James is stronger and can get to the hoop with a lot more force. But Carmelo Anthony is a great shooter, can drive the paint, and is just an all-around sound player. So if you put those three together, and you got Wilson Chandler there in New York, I mean, not the best player, he's a role player. Role players are good. Role players are good to have. That's what Miami has. They're just trying to figure out where everybody's role is. And they are starting to come together in that way. They are starting to finding their own. Chris Bosh knows that he's not going to be the star of the team. He knows he's a role player, a very good role player at that, but he knows that he's starting to know his position on the team. I'm not taking anything away from Chris Bosh. He is an outstanding player. But he knows that Dwayne Wade has been there. He knows the system. And LeBron James is just LeBron James. He's going to take over anywhere he goes. So Miami is starting to, already has learned their role pretty much. They're winning a lot of games, went on a great winning streak. So, you got to give them credit that they're learning this early in the season what to do. I still think Boston and Celtics would work better when they first came together. I mean, they went from a 14-game winning season to the very next year championship team. Of course, I think Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce are a little more humble about the game. That doesn't mean that they're better players. I just think they're more humble. I guess humble is a bad word. They just knew how to play more together faster. They knew going into the team where their roles were. And that's what I love about it. I mean, I'm not a Celtics fan. Hawks fan right here. Big Hawks fan. So, but I respect the Celtics for their talent. Let's switch over to the Hawks. My favorite team. What are they doing in the offseason? Absolutely nothing. All that cap room, they signed Mike Bibby, great player, but getting old, to a 3-year extension. They give Joe Johnson the max contract. Sorry. So they give Joe Johnson the max contract. Not the best move, not the best idea. He kind of stunk it up in the series against the Magic last playoffs. This is one of the biggest free agency years in history, and we do that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. But they're doing good. Great record. You look really hot. So, I mean, that's just the pieces fell how they did, and it's really working out for each team. It really is. So, you just